So when Ben and I got together, we both were very interested in sustainable living.
When Sheena and I met, we had big plans of building this big sustainable life.
Our dream was to buy a little farm somewhere in Saskatchewan on the prairies and
Essentially growing all our food.
a big garden and rabbits and chickens and maybe eventually a dairy goat. And we'd probably build a straw bale house and
It would, produce its own power. We'd manage our own water and eventually, hopefully, get to a point where we're producing more than we're consuming.
so that was our dream 13 years ago. But 8 years ago, it kind of shifted and we decided to move to Vancouver.
So about 8 years ago, we moved from Regina, Saskatchewan to Vancouver, BC to pursue my career. So it's a big change in a different direction. So since then, we've been struggling to get back to that lifestyle and get back to those goals.
We have done some of the things that we wanted to do, but we haven't done all of them. Okay, so I want to start off by showing you my garden, which up until about 3 days ago was still green and had like vegetables I was going to show you that we could harvest, and now it's covered in snow. So there you go. But I can still show you. In terms of like sustainability projects, this is like my main project that I like to do, and it's also like my hobby. But I grow a garden. And in Vancouver, we're lucky, I can grow it actually year round, except for when it snows. Right now in the garden, there's actually would be things we could harvest, which is pretty cool. I've got kale, and I've got actually some broccoli and mustard and arugula, but I'm pretty sure now my arugula's dead, and I had Swiss chard, it's probably dead, and a few things that it would have been great if I had picked them before it snowed. There's a plant. I don't even know where to step right now. It's all covered in snow, so I'm a little bit concerned. But I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna show you the one thing that I was really excited to show you, which was my sole broccoli plant that's ready to be harvested. Oh my god, I just broke it. I just broke that off by accident, but you see that? It's purple sprouting broccoli, and yeah, it's still good. Oh, it's frozen actually, it's not very good. It's so frozen. Fresh frozen farm produce. It's not very good. Anyways, that's my garden. We'll get a chance to show you it again. So we moved into this place about 5 years ago. We were looking for a 2-bedroom because we had a second child on the way. And a big thing we were looking for was outdoor space. So I really wanted to be able to grow a garden. So we found this half of a duplex, and it was a great find. And in the first spring that we were here, Ben and a couple of our friends dug me out a garden in the front yard, and we settled in. Okay, so I'll give you a little tour of the backyard. Come on.
All right, now watch your step.
Okay. Yeah, we've got to clear these stairs. To start, we've got a few fruit plants here, and we've got a few container fruit plants throughout the yard. So underneath our beautiful picnic table with snow child, we have our compost. It's a vermicompost. I started it years ago in Regina, and it's almost always dead, or always almost dead. So it's got like 3 worms, and then I feed it, and then it's a bad scene. I also have a grapevine and raspberry canes over here that are overrun and overgrown on the to-do list. And finally, one thing we're actually super proud of is that we have gone car-free. We went car-free about 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And how we managed that with 2 little kids was having a, oh my God. Okay, watch out. Okay. We've got under here. Oh my God, it's like crushed. Okay, I'm gonna deal with that. But we have a cargo bike. We've been getting around as a family using bikes. So either individually biking when we're not out with our kids or biking the kids around. However, our kids are getting bigger. Our oldest is 9, and we're starting to find that our leg power is not quite sufficient to get them up the hill and that sort of thing. So we are considering our options at this point. So one other great thing about not having a car is that we actually have a parking space that we don't use for anything. So we have actually more outdoor space. It's gravel on the ground, so we can't really grow out of it, but we've thrown around some ideas. Hazel would like to make it kind of a kid zone, a kid club, which is a pretty cool idea, and get kids out and playing in this area. I've also thought about getting a greenhouse and doing kind of maximizing some growing space back here as a result, or putting our containers out here. It gets a lot of sun in the summertime, so it's a great spot for plants to grow, like my fruit plants. So I think this summer we're hoping we're gonna use this space a bit more.
And then there's the kitchen.
One place where we try to do a lot of kind of homemade, home DIY sustainable stuff is in the kitchen. So we're gonna show you just a few things we've been working on.
All right, let's look at some stuff.
Okay, so one of the things we make every week, a couple times a week, is sourdough bread. I have my own starter right here. I'll show you it. Look at those bubbles. It's not actually super fed right now, but when it is, it gets actually a lot of lift. And here's a slice of sourdough for you to enjoy in 4D.
So this is one of the projects that I do regularly, and that's make sauerkraut. So that's something we're gonna look at some point. Pretty low, so I'm gonna have to make some soon. And also, this is a bottle of homebrew. I make my own beer here, which is really nice. So we'll show you a bit of that. I've got one on the go, so let's have a look.
So that's where we are so far in our lives. So there's a few things that we feel pretty good about, like we've really kind of addressed, and then there's a lot of things that we really want to be doing. And so this channel, we're hoping, will help inspire and motivate us and hold us accountable to making those changes and trying to make more systems changes in place so that we can live a more sustainable life where we are, instead of dreaming of some other place where it will all be sorted out.
And so expect more videos on stuff we're making. And until then, I'll see you later.
Until then, check out our lunch. And then let's just film our lunch making. This is no longer hot. It's toast.
Oh my god.